Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture, and also welcome back to another episode of Movie Mondays. In this Movie Monday, we're going to go over the Netflix series called The Politician. The Politician is about a high school student named Peyton Hobart who wants to be age 7, he always wanted to be the president of the United States. But to get to that point, he has his own agenda of how to get to each place. So right in the first season, he wants to be the student body president, so that he can get into Harvard. So that once he gets into Harvard, he can actually be or Stanford. I think it's Stanford or Harvard. It was one of the two. But he wanted to get into Stanford or Harvard to eventually become president. So he has his whole life worked out on him. And this comedy, which it is more of like a comedy yet dramedy in a way, especially season 1. This came out in 2019, and it's still going on with the rumor that there may be a season 3. It hasn't been confirmed, and due to the fact with the pandemic and everything, it's definitely even more in the air than it was before. This was directed by the trifecta. Ian Brennan, Brad Falchuk, and Ryan. I keep on saying Felipe. Ryan Murphy. These people have done American Horror Story, Glee, the assassination of Gianni Versace, like a good handful of those type of Murphy universe kind of things. Peyton Hobart is played by Ben Platt, who's a magician inside Pitch Perfect, and also was the main character in Dear Evan Hansen. So really, really love him as an actor, and he really did a great job in this show. There's a lot of pieces I want to talk about with this show. I liked it all in all. I really loved it. It was great. Great cast, a lot of surprises to see with veteran actresses coming through, Gwyneth Paltrow, Jessica Lange, and Judith Light, and Bette Midler. Oh my god, I was waiting. In my mind, I was like, I can totally see her being part of that Murphyverse kind of thing. So the fact that she is part of it now is so great. So this one pretty much there was a disclaimer that was in the beginning of the first episode that said, The Politician is a comedy about moxie, a bit ambition, and getting what you want at all causes. For those who struggle with their mental health, some elements may be disturbing. Completely true. Not as much in the second season, but the first season definitely, especially with the first episode with, just so you know, spoilers, there's going to be a lot of spoilers. But I'm not going to tell you everything, just more of what I like, but they may contain spoilers. So this one is the first episode pretty much has a suicide that happens by gun. So it's very intense in that direction, and it also breaks down a lot of depression and the feeling of hopelessness. So it definitely... The disclaimer hits you hardcore in the beginning just to make sure that you remember that there was a disclaimer. But yeah, this show is very interesting. One thing I do like about this show is that when it says it's about moxie and ambition and getting what you want at all costs, it's completely that. The main character, Peyton, he has his whole thing of where he wants to be. He wants what he wants. He wants to be the student body president in this one, and in the second season he wants to be the oh my god, I forgot what he was going to be. I think it was as Senate. Yeah, he wanted to be a state senate. That's what he wanted to be. But ultimately being the president. But he knew he had to be a senate first and then go to that point. But he gets very, very ambitious to the point where he has a girlfriend, he dumps her for the campaign, but then gets back with her, and then gets with somebody else, but also in love with another guy, and it's this whole thing that's very confusing. And the thing that I liked about it was the fact that as much as it was confusing that way, it sounded about right. Every movement that Peyton does sounds completely right of what he would do. This whole show is about pretty much morality and ambition, and everybody has their own little piece. Every single person inside the cast has their own little piece of ambition. Some more intense than the other ones, but there's always, the whole thing is about getting a campaign moving forward. And so some people will do things like sleep with another person, pretend to be in a relationship with another person, lie about certain things about somebody, or go after somebody's flaws that's not really meant to be, should be made fun of, or should be used against them, but is used against them for the betterment of another person's advances in their career. So, in the first season, it's all about Peyton and his campaign with his group, with his eventually also about them making their direction to making their own little campaign group, because it's just him and Alice Charles, who's played by Julia, hope I pronounce this right, Schnaufers. She's in Instinct and Charlie Says. She's very gorgeous too, and her style goes from like great to out of this world. Like she has the look. She pretty much starts off as his girlfriend, but then she's like, we're gonna break up so that the campaign could get better, and you'll be the student body president, blah blah blah. But then after that breakup, he completely ignores her, doesn't even pay attention to her, but she's like, you have to pay attention to me, even if we're broken up, you need to like make it seem like, give me a sign that we're still together, because that's what we're doing. We are technically still together, we're just broken up to the public. That part was really weird, and Peyton was like, yeah, whatever, I'm not going to really show you that you matter to me, because my campaign matters more. And you see that. And you see it even into the second season, where he starts to go against another ongoing state senate, who is, I hope I'm saying that right. Senate? Is that? Yeah, we'll go with that. If I'm wrong, then I'll put a thing under. So somebody else running for state senate, which is Judith Light's character, Dee Dee, and she does a great job. She does an amazing job, and she can be ruthless. She's not looking to be ruthless in the second season, but she can be. The only person that is ruthless is her campaign manager, Hadassah, who's played by Bette Midler, and she's complete ruthless. She's ruthless without any. You don't even need to give her a reason. She's ready. She's like, I want this guy gone. She's like, done. Here's the background stuff I have on him already. But she did a great job, and it's that type of piece. Now, one thing I want to point out is that the episodes that really, really spoke to me, largely out of all of it, was episode 5 in season 1 called The Voter, where it pretty much talks about this kid that's in the high school that is getting bombarded by all these different people trying to get them a vote for Peyton, or get him to vote again, voting towards Astrid, which is side note, is Peyton's, which is kind of was Peyton's friend at some point, or she was in a relationship with a guy named River, who's the one that shoots himself in the beginning, but Rivers also has a relationship going on with Peyton and with Astrid, but Astrid is his actual main girl. So, because after the suicide from River, she lightly pretty much blames it on Peyton and saying, I'm going to run against you in replacement of River. And so you got this bombardment from both sides, like pushing all these different students to vote. And they're like, we don't really care about this voting. What's that going to really do for me? And they're like, oh, we'll change your food inside the lunches. It'll give us more like recycled stuff. And this guy in the episode does not care about that. There's other things that he cares about. but they keep on pushing him and pushing him and pushing him to the point where he breaks and ends up punching one of the campaign managers, one of the campaign people, so they're helping out Peyton. So I felt like that was a great idea to kind of pull us out of the whole space of the two campaigns running and how they feel and what they're doing and their schemes and stuff like that, and go into the actual voter and how they're feeling, especially as a student. It's like, this is not even important to me. And he says that, like, he goes home and his parents are like, oh, are you gonna vote? And he's like, I'm not gonna vote. My vote's not gonna count anyway. It doesn't matter anyway. But of course, over time it does matter, because Astrid wins against Peyton off 1 point. So it's one of those things where that point was him to kind of take it, or sorry, 2 points. But that point was, his point was going to take them into either a tie or even Peyton winning. But I also love the fact that they mirrored that same episode into season 2, episode 5, called The Voters, where it has the two campaigns going after individual people, and having Judith Light's character, Dee Dee, going after this mom who's been a long time loyal, voter towards her. But when she sees that Peyton's running, the mom's a little suspicious. She's like, I don't really know about this young guy running. He doesn't really know anything, and this woman's been doing it forever. We should keep if it's not broken, why try to fix it, you know? Meanwhile, her daughter is going to the same college as Peyton, and she's kind of leaning towards him, and she's running. It's like, oh, I want to run. I want him to be Senate. I want him to be that thing. And so she starts spending more time with him to try to convince her mom that he's nothing but he's great company. And she starts spending time with Dee Dee and Hadassah to kind of make a point for her too, to see for themselves. Like, okay, let's just see a day in a life of them to see if I'm making the right decision. Both of them weren't making the right decision. They both have this dissatisfaction at the end. Unfortunately, the mom gets more unsatisfied because it was somebody that she really been voting for forever. And so she's like, yeah, maybe it's time to give the younger voters, the younger candidates actual moments for them to do their stuff. Like, maybe he should win so that we can give the younger generations a platform to do what needs to be done, since we really just tore down everything, and in our generation it didn't really leave much for the generation of now. So, but also in the same time, the daughter's like, yeah, I'm voting for him, I really am voting for him. But it's weird because there's a piece of it where she made it seem like, yeah, he is maybe too ambitious and not really into, and would never run for climate change or anything about recycling and everything if it didn't give him votes. And we start seeing that his mortality, is that right? No. But his moral code is all over the place. It's not, well, it is going a place, but he's not admitting to that. He's very ambitious. He's very into his own space. And you see that throughout the whole episode in the season, in the last season too. And to the point where they question him, is like, are you even being authentic? And so he has to get a running mate to make him look authentic. And there's also some parts where he's presents as gay, but then he also starts to have a relationship with Alice, or not only with Alice, but Astrid, and all three of them have a thing together. It's just all of these things are kind of bundling together, and that part I didn't really care for because it made it seem like let me say the light side of it. The light side of it is that we didn't talk about anything about queer anything. It was just, if you were queer, you were queer. There was no, guys, I'm bisexual, so I'm gonna date this woman. I'm transgendered man, so just so you guys know. Like, there's never that. And we have a transgendered man role inside that James Sullivan, and he does a great job But it's one of those things, it's just on a flip side, is that they had so many pieces of people sleeping with everybody and doing this for somebody else to get to this way. And it definitely leans into the ambition and moxie and getting what you want at all costs. But it really does, it did really, like, bug me, which I'm sure that's what the point was, that they were kind of just like sleeping. They were just shitting where they're eating. Everybody was sleeping with each other in some way, or doing something, or had some love for each other in some way that really put a lot of issues into the campaign and a lot of speed bumps that happen because of people not really thinking it through. Like, should I really get involved with a person that I'm working with? That also we have a very rocky and codependent relationship as it is, because we're all part of this whole campaign to run for Peyton. And it's just, it gets very wonky, but I understand the reason behind it is to show you how far these people will go to get what they want. And it gets nasty. It gets completely nasty and just like, ugh, I'm disgusted over this character. But the thing that Ryan Murphy likes to do is to give you a perspective, which is, Peyton, sure, his moral code is not really that great, but he has to come to terms with the fact that his moral code isn't great, so he can do better. And we see that over time, where he starts to see, like, oh, I don't think this is really going well. And other people start seeing that too, and other different people start seeing their own type of ambitions really hurting them in the end, as much as they are getting what they want, technically. All in all, I really did like this movie. I really did like the show. It's just so intense with the ambition, but in the best way at the same time. I give this show a 4 out of 5. Let me know what you thought about the show below. If you also have some history or some like fun facts that you want to add to this, let me know. There was so much to break down in this whole show that I don't really have space to give you everything without a long video. But all I can say is that the show is really good. It's really heavily on the ambition side, but the cast is great, the storyline is really great, and the atmosphere and the clothes and the fashion and the settings and the comedy is on top of it. It's great. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you like this video, hit the like. If you also hit the subscribe button so you get more of my videos, as well as the notification bell so you can get a little notification saying that my video is out. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.